grocery store, and hello to HelloFresh. Healthy ingredients, easy to follow recipes, shipped to your door, $30 off your first box, free shipping. HelloFresh.com/Colin, C-O-L-I-N. Watching the NBA for years, because in basketball, the way it works, Jenny, is you don't have many players playing at one time. So that means if you do have one or two great players, they have a greater impact on the outcome. In the NFL, Tom Brady's great, but he doesn't play defense. Aaron Rodgers is great. He doesn't play defense. Ray Lewis was a Hall of Famer. He didn't play offense. In the NBA, if you're LeBron, in baseball, you could be a great hitter, but you're only up 4 times. I can walk you. You can be a great center fielder. Ball's only hit to you 3 times in 4 hours. But in basketball, you're going to, if you're a great player, control the offense and be a huge component on defense. And so that's why in the NBA, we've had only about 8 teams in the last 30 that have really won championships. There's the occasional Dallas Mavericks outlier. The occasional Seattle Supersonics won a title without a star. But if you get a Duncan, you get a Shaq, you get a Kobe, you get an MJ, you get a Magic, you get a Bird, you get a LeBron, you end up in the finals. But fans always want to blame somebody. It's rigged. It's the officials. It's the zebras. No, it's just that you can't stop the best player. Yesterday's a prime example. LeBron James has the worst roster in 10 years. Indiana is at home, has the lead and has the ball, leads the series 2-1. They lead by 2. They can go up by 4 or 5 and really control the game, 4.5 to go. And what did the Pacers do? Victor Oladipo's awful yesterday, 5 for 20. Sabonis, who's a good player, wasn't even on the floor. And Darren Collison took 2 really bad shots. Okay, that's on you, Indiana. You had LeBron on the ropes, and you blew it. This isn't about the refs. It's not about the league. It's not about LeBron. You had the ball, the lead, and the series lead. You were at home, and you did nothing. You had 3 straight awful possessions. Darren Collison's not a top 100 player in the league. He's probably your 5th or 6th best player. What's he doing taking a shot there? Why isn't Sabonis in the game? Victor Oladipo's your star. He was awful. That is completely, unequivocally, and arguably on the Pacers. They lost the moment, they lost the game, and because of it, they've lost a series. Now juxtapose that with Ben Simmons. So the Sixers led 2-1 in the series. They had the ball. This is a big moment late. This is why stars run this league. And here's what Ben Simmons did with his opportunity. Listen.
Here's Simmons with the ball. Simmons on a drive, breaks free, and jams the ball. Ben Simmons crashes in with a jam. 2-hand stuff. He broke down the lane. Sixers by 3, 58 seconds to go.
So, interesting, isn't it? Indiana had the same opportunity, just like Philadelphia. Indiana led the series, had the lead in the game, had the ball late, and vomits all over themselves. The Sixers have the lead in the series, have the ball, have the lead, and the kid slam dunks it and basically slam dunks the Heat in the process. All I ever hear about in the NBA is fans. God, you go on Twitter, it's embarrassing. It's the refs. It's the man. Listen, man, the baton is very infrequently passed in professional basketball. It's just the way the sport works. In football, you got 22 people on the field. Outside a quarterback, no individual player has that much income, say in the outcome. In baseball, you could be David Ortiz or A-Rod. You're only at bat 4 times, and I can walk you twice. But in basketball, if you're great and 10 years, 15 years of Tim Duncan, 10 in his prime, they're going to be in the finals every other year. And that's just the way basketball works. And LeBron's never been this vulnerable. This is the most vulnerable LeBron has been in a decade, and Indiana had the game, the moment, the series, and blew it. Philadelphia, similarly, seized it. And by the way, let me segue to this. I have made comparisons, and I don't like to do this because I mostly think it never works out. I would rather be right than wrong doing this for a living, and this generally doesn't work out when you compare people. But I have no problem comparing Ben Simmons to Magic Johnson because I saw Magic break in and I'm watching Simmons. Now, I don't think Ben Simmons has Magic's personality. Who does? I also don't think, though Embiid's a good player, he's not Kareem. The Lakers at the time, you could argue, had the biggest brand, the best center, the best recruiter, the best coach. I mean, it was just perfect. Nothing against Philadelphia. But the one thing about Magic and Simmons that are very similar, very, very similar, Magic Johnson is one of the 6 greatest Lakers of all time. He didn't have Wilt's gifts. He can't shoot like Jerry. He doesn't have the sky hook that's unstoppable. He's not as athletic as Kobe, and he's not as intimidating as Shaq. But I would argue Magic is the greatest Laker ever because there were components of all those in his game. Magic at 6'9" could be overpowering and could be dominant. There were many great shots late in games. Magic wasn't for the 6 great Lakers the best in anything. But he was really good, A-, B+ in everything. And he was also had a contagious personality and an it factor you couldn't describe. That's exactly what I see with Ben Simmons. If you take the all-time great Sixers, Julius Erving is more flamboyant and athletic. Moses more powerful. Iverson faster. Barkley more intimidating. I think Ben Simmons could be better than all of them. I really do. Ben Simmons on Thursday, earlier in this series, it could have been game 1, could have been Thursday. Miami Heat basically begged him to shoot because that's his knock. He's a young kid, he can't shoot. He had 14 assists. The passing lanes were left wide open. He can drive and intimidate you and score at the rim. He is an absolutely gifted passer. He's a 6'10" point, so he's like Shaq, he's abnormally big. Like Magic, he's abnormally large for his position. He can be intimidating. He's a coach on the floor. He rises to the moment like Magic did, especially late in career. I just think you're looking at a kid. I have no problem making the comparisons. I don't think he has the personality of Magic. I'm not sure there's ever going to be a player with the personality of Magic. But this is one instance I have no problem comparing a young player to an all-time great. There are a lot of things Magic did that Ben does really well.
Some things should never change, like the Chris